Good morning, guys. Today is January 5th, 2022, and I am 15 days out from having VSG surgery. I decided that I wanted to kind of document this to track my process and track my progress. I initially started this process back in June of 2021. I think my first appointment was June 3rd. And from June 3rd up until I believe like the end of October, I had completed all of the requirements. And then because of COVID, they were not able to get me scheduled by the end of the year, unfortunately. So my surgery date was scheduled for January 20th. I am, at this point, I'm kind of having like some reservations. I'm really nervous. I know that that's kind of part of the process, and of course, it's normal to be nervous, especially during a surgery. I've only had one other major surgery, and that was my C-section with my daughter back in 2020. So I'll kind of talk about like the decision to go ahead and have VSG surgery. So I do suffer from PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I have and the way that I was diagnosed back when I was 25. So I think that was back in 2016. And the way that I kind of like was concerned is I've always had irregular periods, but by irregular, it's always been at least 9 periods out of the 12 months. And then in 2016, I had had a cycle, but maybe once that year, and it was like the beginning of the year. So I was like, okay, let me go find me an OBGYN to figure out what's going on. I did luckily find a Black female OBGYN when I stayed in Georgia. I lived in Lawrenceville previously. I am now back in Minnesota, which is where I grew up. So I started from there. So I was diagnosed at 25 and have been dealing with it since then. I have one of my ovaries is full of cysts. I can't remember if it's the left or the right, but I'm really thinking it's the left one. So I didn't know if I ovulated or anything like that. Fast forward to 2018, I moved back to Minnesota after my mother passed and kind of started my health journey then. I had in between 2017 and 2018, I had gained like 40 pounds and still wasn't having a cycle. Just a whole range of emotions. And I mean, that's another story for another time at this point. But as far as losing the weight, originally, my highest weight I had been was 260 pounds. And that was before I had my daughter. That was before all of this. So originally when I first was diagnosed, I think I was like 230 pounds. And then, my primary doctor had actually put me on phentermine. So I have been on phentermine for a few years. And while it was good for short-term success, it wasn't good long-term. So I got pregnant 2019, and towards the end of 2019, had my daughter July of 2020. And during my pregnancy, I went from like 235 is what I got down to up. I think my last appointment, I was like 280, but when I gave birth, I was like 279 or 275, one of those. So I had gained roughly like 45, 50 pounds, which they didn't really recommend because I'm already a plus size girl. So at first I was on track. I didn't gain any weight until my third trimester, and that's when it all piled on. So fast forward, I breastfed up until what my body allowed, so about 3 months, and all the weight that I had gained during my pregnancy with breastfeeding, I dropped it like that. Once I stopped breastfeeding, all of the weight kind of just put itself back on. And I started phentermine again once I was cleared from like my I went to like my 6 week checkup, and then I think at my 3 month mark I went back to my primary doctor and she was able to put me back on phentermine. Phentermine was working for a little bit, but then I wasn't seeing as much weight loss as I was before when I was on it. And then also after pregnancy, getting back into the habit of healthy eating was very hard for me because during my pregnancy my daughter's dad kind of like was force feeding me, like not force feeding, not to say it like that, but he kind of like every meal he made, it was like a large portion. A large portion. He just made sure that I ate well, and it's no no issues with that. I had a great pregnancy outside of like the normal pains and things, but other than that, like my daughter was healthy and all, and everything was good. So fast forward, like I was saying, I wasn't able to lose the weight as quick as I wanted to. I was going through postpartum depression, and the weight was like had a lot of like made me look at myself negatively, even though I had just given birth and my daughter wasn't even 6 months old when I decided like, hey, this isn't working. I need to do something else. So I just started like researching weight loss surgeries and found a provider. Well, one of the hospitals that I is actually affiliated with my job. They have a bariatric program. I went to schedule, and I think I scheduled my appointment back in like March. And the first availability that they had was in June. So from March to June, I was kind of like still doing phentermine. I wasn't losing a lot of weight. Um, and then that was it. Now, luckily, I have maintained the weight that I was at, and I haven't gained any other weight outside of like during the holidays, and then after the holidays I was able to lose that weight back. But currently I think I am 280. So I haven't gained, and it was like lose a few pounds, then I stopped the phentermine, and then the weight will come back on. So it was kind of teetering between like 270 and 280. I did not get below that after I stopped breastfeeding and after I stopped breastfeeding, I didn't get below that. I tried a few exercise programs, tried some dieting, and it just didn't work. It felt like I was gaining weight. Even though I was eating healthy, and trying to exercise, I felt like I was still gaining weight. So I know that's like a side effect of my PCOS as far as being insulin resistant and not being able to, um, break down insulin the way that I should. And that's where I'm at now. Um, so yeah, so I decided to do something about it. And I am struggling with the fact that I'm getting ready to be 31 and I am not able to lose the weight like I was before. I was an active child, an active teen, an active adult. And it's a struggle because it's like after my pregnancy, I guess I'm still struggling with the balance of mom life and finding myself again after being pregnant, and after being a mom. And I know I'm not the only one that struggles with it, but it's been hard. So I feel like the only way to try to get back to the person who I felt like I was, or the person that I want to be, is to get this weight loss surgery as a tool to help me get back on track to where I was before. So yeah, I'm just, now that it's like 15 days away, my liquid diet starts on Monday on the 10th. And I luckily only have to do it for 10 days because my BMI is under 50. So I start my liquid diet on Monday. I'm just nervous, and I don't know. Like, I'm having reservations, but then I'm also like, this is what you want. This is your end goal. You want to be a healthier you. You want to be able to interact with your daughter. You want to be able to, just live a flourishing life, live a healthy life. And she is my why. She is definitely my why. And then of course I'm eventually would like to have more kids, maybe one more, but who knows? At this point, I'm good with the one I have. The toddlers are something else. I love my daughter, but y'all, I'm tired. I'm tired, but that's another thing. But yeah, so like I guess these are just like my thoughts. It's not. I know this is kind of everywhere at this point, but these are the thoughts that's been going through my head. Like, what if I get this weight loss surgery and I don't lose any weight? Like I've seen I'm in so many, not so many. I'm in like two Facebook groups, support groups for bariatric surgery, and I see that like I hear more about complications more than success stories, and that is very scary. I have people that talk about how, oh, they only lost 50 pounds and now they're thinking about having the switch done from the sleeve to the bypass, and that's not something I want to do. I don't want to have to end up being someone that has to get a bypass after a sleeve, because I don't want my organs rearranged. That's just something I'm not comfortable with. And I don't know, yo, like I'm nervous, and I want, like, parts of me wants to call and cancel, like, yeah, no, I'll just try something else. But it's like, you've come this far. You did all of these steps. Um, you've done the nutrition, you've done the physical therapy, you've done the psych evaluation, you've been going to therapy I've been going to therapy working on like myself and self-care and self-love, and I guess this is part of my self-care. It's part of my self-care. I mean, if y'all have some encouraging words, like, it would be great. If y'all are wanting me to continue to document this process, I definitely will. And I'll try to post updates I'll try to post a few more updates before. If you have questions on like what the process was, I can definitely answer those questions as far as what the process was on with me. I know everybody's process is different. I've seen some people who say they didn't have to do a liquid diet before surgery. They didn't have to do liquids afterwards for like a few weeks. They went just to straight like pureed or soft foods. So it's everybody's journey is different, and this is my journey. This is my journey, and I would love for y'all to come along with me. And like I said, I'm just like also looking at myself and trying to picture myself 100 pounds smaller. That is insane. Like, when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, dang, what would you look like 100 pounds smaller? And all I can think about is like me in high school. And I wasn't small, but I was a nice size. My head is a little big, so this big old head and a small body, I just don't want to look like a lollipop either. And then, I see other people who I've seen some success stories here, of course, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and some, even in the Facebook groups where some people are like, oh, well, I started here and now I'm here. And it's like, I don't want to get too small. And I think that's another fear, is being too small to where I'm not happy with myself, but I'm struggling with being big and not being happy with myself. So I need like a happy medium. But that's all I wanted to come on and kind of like rant about. But if y'all have any questions, you could definitely comment. If you want me to, like I said, if y'all want to see my journey from now through surgery through the first year, definitely something to subscribe, turn on the notifications. I'll definitely post those. I think what I'll do is do like a 1 week review, 1 week update, a 1 month update. I'll try to do a monthly update as time permits, as my life permits. But yeah, that's it. And I just leave me some positive, like encouraging words, y'all, because your girl is really thinking about canceling this surgery. And I shouldn't. I shouldn't. But that's it. That's all. I do want to say love, peace, and blessings to everyone, and Happy New Year. Bye.